Hi, my name's Evan Armstrong. I work for the Central PA Food Bank with the Impact and Policy Research team. We work on service insights on MealConnect, so you probably know of either myself or my colleagues Ashley or Morgan that all work on service insights. Today, I'm going to show you some of the internal reporting in Tableau that Service Insights has built into it. So, if you ever have had to do a grant or data requests or any type of thing that you've had to look into your information and said, what percentage of our households are this, right? Are receiving SNAP or, what percentage of our households are of a certain race or ethnicity? If you've wanted to dig into questions like that, these reports are going to be able to help you out. Obviously, my team remains available for any specific data requests. Um, but these reports, in a lot of cases, will give you as much information as my team was going to give you because oftentimes we're looking at these reports to pull that information from. So, to show you, we start off, you have to be an agency admin, I believe, to use this. I don't think users can. But you can go down to reports and you can hit summary statistics. There are a couple of different versions of reports down here, but summary statistics is what we're interested in for today's video. And you can see there's a couple of different layouts here. So all of these are pre-generated reports that Tableau will create for you that show you each of the following kind of attributes of or ways of looking at your data. So I'm not going to show you each of these, but I am going to show you just a couple of them to show you what they look like on the inside. So normally these would take a little bit to load, but I've already gone ahead and preloaded up two of them here. We have our snapshot overview, which is the most broad look at your services rendered. So kind of your total and individual counts, quick age breakdown, an idea of where you're serving people, um, and breakdown of the households, and then this kind of rolling this visit counter for the months of the year. So you can see how many household duplicated visits were served in each given month. But let's say that's not particularly helpful. Let's say we actually want to narrow in on how many people we served in a specific week, right? So first thing I would recommend doing is going up here and hitting this pause button. So Tableau is set to automatically update every time you change a filter, but in most cases, you're going to be messing with multiple filters. So it's kind of a pain to have it stop, reload all the data in between each individual change. So I'd hit that pause first, and then I would change this to whatever I want. So let's say we're just interested in the first full week of November. So we'll go Sunday the 2nd to Saturday the 8th. The food bank shouldn't change. Agency, most of you should only have the agency that you're looking at or that you belong to. But this is my food bank account, so I can see them all at once. And then program location is only if you have multiple if you have multiple events. Or if you have, say, like one main location and then you have a mobile distribution or something like that, that would include your other program locations. If you have multiple program locations, you will know. If that applies to you, go ahead and click it. And then you can even get more specific. You can say, I really only want the Monday distributions for our events. You can, pick what type of government program the program is part of, if it was just TFAP households or non-TFAP households, any number of different things. You can narrow in on what county or zip code the neighbors are from there. So there's a lot of very useful ways to slice this data. But whenever you're done inputting all your filters, you hit the little button up there to resume your auto updates. That will tell the computer, okay, I've made my selections. Now it's time to process. So it'll take a minute. Tableau reporting can be a bit slow, but it's pretty powerful. So that's kind of the trade-off there. Um, and it should, in a minute, give us the same exact report, but just looking at those households and individuals that visited from Sunday, November 2nd through Sunday or Saturday, November 8th. And in this case, I've chosen American Rescue Workers in Williamsport to be our case tester. So we can see that this would appear pretty accurate for how much I know them to serve. That they served 1,435 individuals and 515 households in that week. Here's the breakdown, and you can see any of these numbers as you mouse over them, it's going to give you more information for that. So, like this 0 to 5, let's say I wanted to know, well, how many of our people are 0 to 5 or 0 to 18 actually that was served in that week? Well, you can get, you can't just add up percentages super easily like that. It doesn't mathematically work that well. So maybe what is a better bet is looking at, okay, 118 plus 379 and then dividing that total out of the total number. So, and then, your map is a lot more useful now that we're only looking at one individual location, but we can even see, how many of the people in this zip code visited, how many households visited, and even here it has how many are receiving SNAP. So a lot of useful information here. I'm just going to go over to the individual demographics report. Again, same general features. You have your filters over on this side, you have your information over on here, but just a different way of viewing the data. So if the snapshot overview, let's say you wanted information specifically about people who are receiving other government services. Snapshot information might not have that, but something like core household characteristics, which here says it includes the household served, size, age composition, and government program participation, that is likely to have the information that you might need. So I encourage you all to take a look at this, dig around in this, see if there's different things. And 9 times out of 10, if you have a data request or you want a specific percentage or a specific figure for grants or anything like that, looking through these reports can find it for you much quicker than the whole process of sending us an email for a data request, me finding time to do it, doing it, and then sending it back to you. Whereas in many of these instances, you can just sit down and do it right then and there. So, hopefully that was a useful overview of how the Tableau reports work. We are going to, hopefully, we'll have more and more agencies using these to kind of for those smaller kind of interim data requests that are not super specific. Because I think that would be a much friendlier process for everybody involved if you guys are able to immediately get the data that you want out of them, and that it's the same beans we're all working with essentially. So we're not looking at different Apple data sources comparing apples to oranges. But that's all. And if you have any questions, as always, send us an email at serviceinsights@centralpafoodbank.org. Ashley, Morgan, and myself all monitor that inbox. So you're most likely to get a timely response by sending emails to that inbox. So take care and have a good day.